Today on the channel, it's a return of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, and no time better than the present for a Top 5 CM Punk AEW figures of all time.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5. A Thursday tradition here on the channel, as every single Thursday we're counting down my top 5 and sometimes top 10 favorites of something. And in today's video, we're counting down my top 5 CM Punk AEW figures of all time, and at the very end of the video, got a little bit of a special announcement, so stay tuned for that as well. But Ted figured now is the time to do a top 5 CM Punk AEW figures. We do have one more on the way, and that's kind of the Luminaries Throwback Edition. Not sure if that would make my top 5. Maybe, but as of right now, knowing what we know, having what we have, we are ready to do a top 5 CM Punk AEW figures of all time. And of course, CM Punk on a lot of lips this week as he did make his WWE return at Survivor Series and of course Monday Night Raw. A lot of people saying, oh my gosh, the Monday Night Raw promo was nowhere near as good as the Rampage one. Have to agree with that, but it's a little bit of perspective there because going back to that Rampage one, he hasn't been wrestling forever. So there was a lot of expectations on that one that had a big time feel to it because we hadn't heard from CM Punk in a wrestling ring in years. Well, he's been in AEW, he's been in and out of AEW, now he's in WWE. It's not as distant as it was beforehand with AEW. So that promo there, I mean, it was exciting enough, and it's just kind of a WWE promo is what it felt like to me. He didn't bury the company, he didn't bury AEW. I think a lot of people wanted to do that, but I think ignoring that maybe made it seem like they were more minor league to him. I don't know exactly how you want to do that. I'm sure there was a lot of discussions with the WWE team and stuff and all that kind of fun stuff along the way as well, but I don't think the return could have been as big as the AEW return, but I'm interested. I'm a big CM Punk fan, always have been a CM Punk fan. You guys know how it is. You like what you like, you don't what you don't. I know there's a lot of people that do not like CM Punk, but it is what it is. I'm sure there's people that you like out there. Yeah, you in the back sitting on the couch, or you, Todd McFarlane, over there on that couch that you probably like that I don't, but that's the way it goes. And that's why this list today is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. Your list can't be wrong. My list can't be wrong because it's our list. That's the way these do go. But make sure you do put them in order. You start at number 5, work your way to number 1, and the rest writes itself from there. So without further ado, let's do it. Let's start with the countdown at number 5. We begin our top 5 CM Punk countdown at, of course, number 5. And number 5 for me, a bit of a controversial one. Not going to be on everybody's list, that's for sure. But we're going to AEW Unmatched Series 7 for the LJN edition of CM Punk. And now I know these LJN figures are not for everybody. I'm an LJN kid as a small child. Those were my first wrestling figures, so I have a lot of nostalgia for these. And this one, I don't know. If I was a kid, I don't think it would be one of the greatest playability LJNs, that's for sure. It's basically a statue, a cartoony statue is what this represents. But as far as these go, I feel this is one of the better ones. Obviously a little bit big in the head department, but very bright and colorful with all the tattoos, the tights, the stars, the blue and black attack. Just a very, very cool looking statue of a figure, LJN inspired figure of CM Punk. And like I said, not going to be for everybody. There's a lot of people that hate that these are in the line. Just like the Jax Class Superstars days, there's a lot of people that hated those were in the lines. So there's a lot of hate for these, where I think some of that same hate doesn't go to the major wrestling figure podcasts with the big rubber guys, because they are what they're supposed to be. They are LJN inspired. They're their own thing. They're their own universe, while this feels a little shoehorned into a universe is what it feels like to me. But that being said, I still like this one. I still think this is possibly the best LJN inspired one they have released so far. Not sure if we're going to get any more of these in the future. I guess we'll see what happens with the AEW line. But for me, I like this CM Punk one for what it is. And what it is coming in at number 5 in my top 5 list. We've hit the number 4 spot in the countdown at number 4. Once again, we go to AEW Unmatched. We go to AEW Unmatched Series 4 for CM Punk. Of course, CM Punk in his Larry hoodie and his Chicago tights, very similar to the LJN inspired one as well. All the tattoos, all the bells and whistles. But this one I had to buy two of. One to display with the hoodie on, one with the hoodie off. We do know about the staining issues, of course. That's always a plague with the Jazzwares figures, unfortunately. But this one had to come in at number 4 for me. I was very hyped, very jazzed for this one to come out. A very good representation. By no means his best. It's not at number 1, but a perfect number 4 spot here. A 2-in-1 figure for me, maybe for you as well. But just a very good rendition of CM Punk. And pretty cool to get your dog on a hoodie at the end of the day. I thought that was a really cool addition here with this figure. So CM Punk Unmatched Series 4 coming in at number 4. We've hit the halfway point in our top 5 CM Punk countdown. We're at the number 3 spot. And of course, like always, make sure you put your list in the comments down below. Make sure you put them in order. That's the hard part, but that is the fun part. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, as every single week we got a countdown going on and a lot of countdowns to come this end of the year here, as we got all the year-end countdowns of all the toy lines we talk about here on this very channel. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel. But the number 3 spot comes to us via our friends at Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. But we're going to the CM Punk return from that Rampage return I talked about earlier. We do got the ice cream bars, what I always call it, CM Punk. Of course, absolutely fabulous packaging on this one. Just absolutely next level packaging. That is one thing they'll never be able to take away from the Jazzwares lines. They always give us crazy cool packaging for their exclusives. And this one was just like no other out there, as it did have the ice cream style packaging it was into. Love the hand, the one-off hand with the ice cream bar. You do get the Larry hoodie once again. Shout out to old Larry there. And then you do get the CM Punk, a classic CM Punk shirt underneath there, of course, from his return. Sold out really quick at the event, and aftermarket went crazy on those. Black pants as well, and then your black tennis shoes. But just an all-around really cool figure. I could see this being at the top of some people's list. Be hard to argue that with the cool stylized packaging on this one and the return to form for old CM Punk. But for me, the Ringside Collectible return of CM Punk coming in at number 3. At the number 2 spot in the CM Punk AEW figure countdown, and number 2 has some similarities with number 3, as this one was also a Ringside Collectible exclusive. Once again, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. But this one came to us from the Blood and Guts line, of course, the 2-pack with MJF, an absolute all-timer of a Blood and Guts set. Possibly my favorite bloody figure of all time. And one of these days we'll do a top 5, maybe top 10 bloody figures of all time countdown. And it's going to be hard not to have this at number 1. There's 2 other ones that are going to be neck and neck with it. Have to sit down, do the math, check it once, check it twice, see where it nets out. But man, talk about an all-timer pack. The MJF figure, not the star of the show for me. It is this Punk, this big crimson mask here, the hair in the face, the screaming mouth. Of course, the dog collar chain, another all-timer. Just a very, very fun set, and one of the coolest sets ever, and easily one of the best Ringside Collectible exclusives ever. Just, I love this figure. I love blood in my old school wrestling. I love the Blood and Guts, and this really brings you back to like old school NWA stuff is what it reminds me. It reminds me of Tully vs. Magnum. Who knows? Dusty Rhodes and a million of his feuds with Wahoo and Ric Flair that I watched on VHS tapes and stuff renting when I was a little kid. But just so cool to have a bloody figure in 2023. I don't foresee Mattel giving us any bloody CM Punks. I'm not even sure if we'll see CM Punk bleed over there in the WWE. So really a moment in time, really something special here at number 2. And that is why the Blood and Guts CM Punk is number 2 on my top 5 list. And that leaves only one. I think a lot of you guys can guess what this is, but we're still going to talk about it and got a little announcement at the end as well. Like a young boys to men, we have come to the end of the road, and this is the number 1 CM Punk AEW figure of all time. Of course, as usual, this is my list. Put your list in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as we got countdowns every single week. And don't forget to thumbs up this video. Always helps the channel. Always is good for the channel. But we're at the number 1 spot. Like I said, I think a lot of people can guess this. This is a figure that's just recently came out, recently hitting stores, but it is an absolute all-timer. This might not be only the best CM Punk figure from Jazzwares. This might be the best Jazzwares figure of all time. Of course, I am talking about the CM Punk Supreme. Yes, the Walmart exclusive Supreme, hitting Walmart stores right now. an absolute all-timer. Of course, pinless joints. That's my most requested thing from the Jazzwares team. We got the pinless joints on here for the Supreme. You got all the accessories, all the extra hands. You got the hoodie. You got the extra set of legs. It's a 2-in-1 figure. You can mix and match. I don't even know. I asked the question in the unboxing, how many different combinations are possible with a CM Punk like this? Is there like 50 different combinations? 500 different combinations with all the hands, heads, shirts, torsos, things like that? Just an all-timer of a figure. And if I ever said choose your own adventure, this is basically the definition of that in a wrestling figure. Fabulous head sculpts, fabulous soft goods, great accessories, extra hands, extra bodies, and then of course a fabulous packaging on this one. I do have a package right here. Absolutely fabulous packaging. I don't know if CM Punk is willing to sign these anymore. I don't know how that would go down, but very cool. If you could get an autograph on this, it would look awesome on here. Just an all-around awesome packaging, and it's #1 by heads and shoulders above the rest of them, and I love that #2 one, but man, there's no doubt this is an amazing figure. Easily #1. Have to imagine most of your guys and gals lists out there, this will be #1 as well. You guys tell me in the comments down below. But a little announcement here. I was at my local Walmart today and I did come across this, and that's kind of what jogged my memory to do this video. I said this would be a perfect time to do this video. I saw this. Of course, you know I already have this in my collection. But I saw this there and I said, you know what? This would be the perfect December Patreon giveaway. So I am going to give away this CM Punk for the month of December. It'll ship early January to the winner. So if you want a chance to enter to win this, and of course, support this YouTube channel, get in on all the videos, all the fun stuff we got going on. There's a lot of extra content on the Patreon. Head on over there, sign up. Of course, you got to sign up in December for this one. But this could be an all-timer of a giveaway there and giving somebody a chance. Maybe you can't find this in your store, what have you. This will go to one lucky Patreon member for the month of December. So a shout out to that one. But no doubt in my mind, once again, this was the #1 CM Punk figure of AEW and possibly of all time, which does lead us to 2024. What is going to happen? What's in store for CM Punk with the WWE? Well, I'm betting man. If I was a betting man, I should say. I tell you, Steve, Bill McKenna, the whole team over there, they are working on CM Punk figures right now. Have to imagine it's going to be a little of that Cody Rhodes stuff because you know they have the old basic molds, the old elites of CM Punk. They're going to rush some of that stuff out. We saw it with Cody. Let's just use old Cody body, a different paint job, and bam, you got a new figure. Would not be shocked to see a basic CM Punk announced very, very soon. I could see a render coming in like January or something. We'll see what happens there. But I think next year, you will see a heck of a lot of CM Punk action from the Mattel team. They know how it goes. They know CM Punk, a bit controversial. You never know. He could be gone from the WWE in 6 months. You never know. So I'd have to imagine the Mattel team are going to start immediately. Have to imagine they're working on a couple of different basics. They'll be starting to put the pieces together for an Ultimate and Elite figures, maybe multiple Ultimates, just to get the money out. Kind of like Hulk Hogan. We see that right now. They're diving into the Hulkster figures like crazy because they never know what might happen. They never know when they might lose that license. Got to think the same thing will apply to CM Punk. So 2024 could be the year of CM Punk figures. 2023 was pretty heavy with AEW. I think Mattel might even take it to another level, especially with all the flashback stuff they can do, put him in the greatest hits line. I just have a feeling there's going to be a lot of CM Punk stuff in 2024. So I guess we'll turn our attention and look forward to that next year. But there it is, the top 5 AEW CM Punk figures of all time as voted by me. Once again, put your list in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on your old notification bells. We got videos every day. And don't forget about Patreon. Patreon early access to both YouTube channels. Got 2 YouTube channels. Both channels do funnel up to Patreon for early videos. And of course, giveaways like this CM Punk for the month of December. Support the channel, head over to Patreon. You can also support the channel, ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, whoever would. We got SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for the CM Punk Top 5, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.